And who's this little guy, Bill?
This is Freddie.
Hi, Freddie.
What do you say, Freddie? Are you a sailor?
Cute little guy. And he goes where you go?
He goes where I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everywhere I go, he goes.
So we just got onto Bill's boat, and the first thing I noticed was the wheel is huge. So I've asked to get a shot of me with it just to show you guys. And that's one nice thing about boats that you cruise and race is when you have a big wheel, it allows you to get to the side. I think this is a Mads size wheel.
You can comfortably sit, because this is beveled for you, and you just comfortably sit here, and you can just drive.
Yeah.
Adjust the sail, and it's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful spot to sit.
Yeah.
And you can reach the wheel nice and easy. Now, the one bit of a hassle with the huge wheel is if you got to get out from behind the wheel in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, or back behind the wheel in a hurry.
Yeah.
You kind of get stuck sometimes.
Yeah.
But
especially if you're heeled over
and when you're at anchor, you've got a huge wheel in the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I take it off and I'll strap it down somewhere else. But I don't really feel overly comfortable with not having your wheel on your boat. Even though you are at anchor, stuff can happen.
Yeah.
And if you got to get your wheel on in a hurry,
yeah,
you might not be able to.
Yeah.
So I tend to leave it on. Okay, I basically took the boat and turned it in from a more of a racing boat to more of a cruising boat. So I did eliminate some winches. I used to have 2 on each side on the coaming, and I had 2 on each side on the cabin tops here, where I went with just 1 on each side here and just 1 primary winch. In hindsight, that might not have been the best idea, but it's the way it is now, and that's the way it's going to stay.
Yeah. Well, and if you're mostly cruising,
exactly,
1 primary on each side is enough.
Yeah, and they are good ones. Away we go. Let's go down.
All right. At first glance, I had to remind myself that this boat was 30 years old. Seeing the high quality of workmanship and attention to detail, it was clear that Bill spared no expense during this restoration. I can easily say that my first impression of Bill's boat is that it's one of the nicest CNCs I've ever had the pleasure of being on. But let's let Bill tell us all about it.
Well, welcome aboard Felice Bear.
Well, that's a very interesting name, Bill. So is there a meaning behind that?
Well, actually there is. When we bought the boat, it was quite a discussion with the wife and I what we were going to call the boat, and we hummed and we hawed and we pondered, and then we came up with Felice Bear. And what Felice Bear is, my wife's name is Elizabeth, and she's an Italian girl, so her dad, of course, being an Italian fella, and his name was Felice. And my dad, he was a Norwegian fellow, and his name was Bjorn. Now Bjorn, if you translate that into English, it's bear. So basically we named the boat after our parents, our fathers, Felice Bear, and when you put it all into English, it's Happy Bear, and I'm the Happy Bear because owning the boat was my dream, and here it is, and we're on board.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
That's well, why don't you tell us a bit about the boat?
We bought the boat in, I think it was 2005, or 2004, got it to Vancouver, bought the boat in Ontario, got to Vancouver in April 2005, and then did about a 5-year refit. It was one of those projects where I just started to do a little something, and it got away from me, and took 5 years, and a hell of a lot of money, which was unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I got a boat that I love and I'll keep forever.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So we did quite a few modifications on the inside.
Yeah.
I'll start in the back here. After we had my woodworkers on board, they kept trying to talk me into, Bill, you should take that wall down and it'll really open it up. Bill, you should take that wall down and really open it up. So one day, they got me in a vulnerable day, and I said, you know, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. And then I left for a couple hours, and when I got back, the wall was gone. And I tell you, I'm quite happy about it. So I used to have this wall, it would come along here, and kind of tapered in, and went in here. And the nav station was this tiny little table that was actually a fold out, and this was in much further, so you sat over here and you were on the side of the hull. It wasn't very comfortable. And then when you had to come out, well, you were wrestling with this bifold door. It was who was going to win, the bifold door or me? So it's much better. It gave me a great big huge nav station. I've added, it also gave me some drawers, the drawers that go forever.
Oh, wow.
So I've got lots of room for junk, as you can see.
Yeah.
So one of the projects was redoing all the electrical. I'll just give you a quick peek at it. It's all very nice and neat and tidy. You wouldn't believe how much wire I pulled out of here when I got the boat. It was lots and lots and lots. And God knows where it was intended for.
Well, that looks really nice. That's a nice electrical area.
Yeah, it's very functional, very, very functional. And of course, there's a big sleeping area back here, the quarter berth. I think it's almost 7 feet long, and you know it's fairly wide. It's comfortable for 2 people. You know, you won't want to sleep there for 2 people every night of the week for every night of the year. But on a boat, hey, boats are cozy. That's what it's all about.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, and here's the galley. It's pretty much a standard boat galley. I've got lots of good storage. This has all been replaced, of course. And I went with a butcher block. This is actually bamboo. I was looking at corian. I thought about granite. Granite, of course, would be way too heavy. I didn't really like the plastic look of corian. So then I just thought, hey, I like butcher blocks. I like cooking. How about a butcher block? And my woodworker guy came up with this pressed bamboo, and I really like it. It's nice. However, it does have one problem. That in the summertime, when we're out sailing for quite a while, the wood tends to swallow a little bit, and these cabinets get a little hard to open, and sometimes they get actually so tough the wife can't open them. But then I come home, put the dehumidifier on for a day, they're all back to normal. Yeah. So standard stove. It's a 3-burner, which is nice to have the extra burner sometimes. And you know, decent sized little oven. You can cook anything in here. Liz makes banana bread for us from time to time. Gets the boat smelling beautiful. It's really nice to have the oven. And you know, standard little refrigeration side. It's open both sides. And then this is more of an ice box size, but I don't generally use ice very much. If we're going to be away for a few weeks, I will put a block down there, and it'll last for a while. But you know, it stays generally pretty cold as it is. Yeah.
And you've got some nice cupboards I see back there.
Yes, the cupboards have been really done well. In fact, I even carry wine glasses. I have an area here that these were custom made that they just snap in and they won't go anywhere.
Well, that's a nice feature.
And we've been in some pretty bad weather. And I tell you, I've never broken one. Well, one's been broken by someone dropping one.
Yeah, not because of
not because of the way
the storage location.
No,
yeah.
No. And now another interesting thing I did here. Now the engine access is quite different on these boats. There is no engine access from in here. You can come in through the back here and just access the front of the engine for checking oil and stuff like that. But your major engine compartment is through the lazarette on the starboard side.
Similar to my boat.
Is it your boat like that as well?
Well, I can access from the companionway stairs, but I can also access from the lazarette on the starboard side. Yeah.
So what I did here was we have various doors. You have your hard door, you got your clear door, and then you've got your screen door. Well, where am I going to put all those doors when I'm not using them? Well, I got my guys to build me this nice little shelving system down here where when my doors aren't being used, they just slide in.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I really like that. And then here's where all my battery switches and windlass switch.
Mm. Nice and tucked away.
Yeah, nice tucked away out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not always the prettiest to look at.
No, they're not. They're not. So you can't even tell they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So over here, Alfie, this whole settee used to come all the way to the end, of course, right? But my wife, well, she likes fireplaces. You know, at home, where do you find her? In front of the fireplace. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, Liz is in front of the fireplace. So I had to get a fireplace of some sort on her, so I put in this diesel heater. And, well, I didn't want to have it right against the wall. I wanted it to be able to see the flame so it opens up to the whole room. So that's why I put it on an angle.
But it's very nice at an angle.
It's very good. It works great. I just need to get some of Mad's little magic pellets to get rid of my soot.
Oh, we'll see if he can send some over in a care package for you.
So that's what's happened over here. And then, of course, all the cabinetry. Originally, these were just C-berths. There was no cabinetry of any sort up here. It was just C-berths, both sides. Mm-hmm. So we got all the cabinetry built in. And Liz and I, we designed all this to cover up the chain plate.
Mm-hmm. Is there storage behind the seats as well?
Tons of storage. Tons of storage. Tons of storage in there. And under this, there's 30 gallons of water here, 30 gallons on the other side, and then 30 gallons in the aft. And then that's for one side on the aft is 30 gallons, and the other side is all storage. So there's a lot of storage. A lot of storage here. And here, all under here is all storage. I can put about, I'd say about 90 bottles of water under there when we go cruising. You know, that's the water drawer.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then of course over here, this will slide out and it makes into a double, but it's been used once.